Oh man, oh man, oh man. So, Assassin's Creed Shadows just released an update, and in that update, they released a collaboration with Attack on Titan, which, you know, fair play. That's quite an achievement to do. And I've been a fan of the collabs this franchise has done, whether it was the Raiden collab in Brotherhood, the Final Fantasy mini crossover in Origins, or the other Shadows collabs. But this one right here, this Attack on Titan x Assassin's Creed Shadows collab, this might be one of the worst things I played this year. In fact, I didn't go to the gym just so I can play the collab crossover. And safe to say, I want my money back. And what's crazy is it was free, but I still want my money back. Explain how that works. That's how bad this was. This felt like Ubisoft Quebec at their lowest point. You know, after finishing the Valley of Memory DLC for Assassin's Creed Mirage, I knew to keep my expectations low, especially coming into this collab. But when I say low, I didn't expect them to be under the fucking floor low. And yes, before anybody says it, I get that one was a Saudi Arabia funded DLC and the other's a collaboration. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the feeling of jumping from one to the other. I was prepared to feel that difference. So don't think I'm comparing the two, because I'm not. I even made a playthrough video of the Attack on Titan collab that I've now scrapped because of how annoyed and frustrated I was in the video. I'm not even going to upload it, but here's some of the stuff I was saying. Oh, he's turning into a Titan. Okay, I wonder what this is gonna look like. They didn't even put any effort into designing the Titan. They just made him bigger. I will say, I do dislike parkour puzzles when it's like this, because it's just climbing up. I like actual parkour challenges. You know, like the Assassin Tombs from Assassin's Creed 2. I like how I had an open mind when I went into it, and I'm about half an hour into recording, and I'm really fucking regretting this. So, my thoughts on what I just played with the Attack on Titan collab was that was fucking awful. I had low expectations, but I didn't expect them to be that low. Holy shit. Where do I even start with this? I mean, right away, we meet this character named Ada, who respected the character, but her character model looked like it was built on a male base. Then somebody tried to adjust it at the last second. It looks completely off. But then again, I've always said the character models in this game are absolutely atrocious. The cutscenes especially are even worse. I knew there was no motion capture in this collab whatsoever. But you know, after seeing the cutscenes in the free Mirage DLC, I didn't expect them to be this bad. Is it just me, or are these cutscenes somehow worse than anything we've seen in Shadows? It's so stiff and robotic. The entire dialogue, I kid you not, feels like it was written by AI because it sounded so unnatural and forced, and it didn't make any sense. It's like if they asked ChatGPT to write them a script, and what Ubisoft Quebec did is take the first input the AI gave them. But going back to Ada real quick, when I saw her in the Survey Corps outfit, it looked fantastic. I immediately wanted this outfit, and me being a dumbass, I thought we would get this outfit once we finished the quest. But nope, instead once you finish the collab quest, you get a katana and that's it. And the moment you finish, a pop-up literally appears on the right side of your screen giving you a tutorial on how to open the microtransaction store so you can buy the outfits with real money. What the fuck? $20? That's the first thing Shadows tells you after doing the collab. Now I shut off the game the second I saw that because that's abysmal. I don't know whose idea it was to think, I know at the end of this quest we'll tell them to go to the microtransaction store and buy the outfits. We're not going to give them the outfit, we're going to tell them how to buy it. Like what the actual fuckity fuck. And as for the actual quest itself, almost 90% of it is very basic climbing and swinging on preset routes that feels slapped together with no thought whatsoever. It has none of the flow or freedom Assassin's Creed parkour is supposed to have. And it's weird because they just released a parkour update, but they didn't make use of it. Instead it was just climbing, literally just climbing. There was no parkour. If anything, when I was moving through this cave underground, I was getting flashbacks to how much I missed the Assassin Tombs in the Ezio trilogy because this was so unbelievably shit. It literally feels like a climbing simulator. You follow these awful paths that break any momentum, and half the time you just want it to end already. I think I spent maybe about 70% of the whole collab trying to figure out where the frick to go because of how poorly implemented the entire sequence was. Now to be fair, they did make a whole new area for the collab and I commend them for that. It did nearly burn my eyes with how bright it was. It's meant to be like the underground area from the Attack on Titan story, kind of their take on the underground chapel. So, lore-wise, they actually got that part right. The crystals act as the light source, just like in the series, and that's probably the most effort that they put into the entire collaboration quest. But once you start moving through it, the mediocrity shows very fast. The enemies are placed in the most awkward ways. Some are just staring at a wall with their back wide open for you to take them out, while others are, looking off into the void for no reason at all. The way this entire area was set up feels like it was mapped out in about 5 minutes just to check a box. There's no challenge or tension anywhere. To be honest, most of the times I died was because my dumbass decided to jump off the edge and fall into the void thanks to how clunky the whole layout is. And then, oh my god, we get to the Titan itself. This part is the most underwhelming thing I've seen. You know how in the past Assassin's Creed RPG games, we're able to fight, the trials of the gods in Origins, we fight mythical creatures in Odyssey and Valhalla. I mean, there's even a dragon in that one free mode in Valhalla named the Forgotten Saga. But here, oh man, I expected at least a boss fight with this Titan, or something like that, especially when you think about how far Assassin's Creed has pushed fantasy in the recent years. And this is Ubisoft Quebec after all, surely they can't fuck this one up, right? But nope. Instead, the Titan shows up and you never fight it. You run away from it with Yasuke in a straight line. And that's not exaggeration. You just hold parkour up, and that is the entire premise of this Titan encounter. They didn't even try. I even purposefully died to the Titan just so I can see what happens. And the death scene is so janky, like there was no effort put into this whatsoever. I knew Ubisoft Quebec was playing it safe with shadows, but I didn't think it would be this empty. Even the Titan model itself. A Titan in Attack on Titan is supposed to look, disjointed in a way. Very uncanny valley looking. But what Ubisoft Quebec did is a complete joke. The Titan is literally a stretched out regular NPC model, and they just slapped the Titan grin on him and called it a day. They didn't even go to the efforts of making a new character model entirely. In fact, all 2 NPCs you meet, by the way, yes, 2, are remodeled from characters in the base game. That's how lazy this was put together. I think the only positive about the Titan model itself is that they got the goofy ass rundowns that Titans do. So that's about it. But if you know anything about video game development, that's probably the easiest thing to do when designing this. So that says enough. I almost forgot, this collaboration did have a boss fight actually. I lied. But instead of it being with a Titan, it's with this guy. I forgot his name. That's how non-memorable this entire collaboration was. It's a regular enemy with a health bar and nothing more. There was no special moves he had, nothing new about him that was unique to his attack pattern. It was simply a generic fight with a regular enemy that had an increased pool of health. If anything, it felt like a hindrance. So yeah, that's basically the overall gist of this entire collaboration quest. It was a complete waste of my fucking time. It took me 1 hour to do, and I want my time back. If anything, it's unfortunate that it's so bad because the Dead by Daylight collab that they did was very good. I even made a video playing through that, and I had a ton of fun with it. I thought the themes of that were great. The Oni boss fight was fantastic, and it was well written. Even the Critical Role collab, which was my personal favourite as it delved into the Templars, and even the Black Cross, that was very good. But then this one, this Attack on Titan collab was so freaking disappointing. You would expect this out of all of them to be the highest quality one, but to me this was by far the worst. And as harsh as this may sound, I do think it's time for Ubisoft Quebec to stop supporting this game. Save the money and resources and just move on. The player base is very low, the public reception for this game is insanely negative, nobody's interested anymore. I mean, content creation around this game is at an all-time low, and going from Mirage's free DLC to this was a disaster. I think Ubisoft Quebec are better at making games not related to the franchise. I mean, look at Immortals Phoenix Rising, that was a fantastic game. That right there is Ubisoft Quebec's bag. And maybe they should just do that. I respect that they attempted this collab, but the execution was not it whatsoever. And for that reason, I've lost interest in this game completely. I mean, compare my Shadows videos to before launch and now, and you will notice the shift in tone and opinions. I also want to talk about the Isu puzzle that came with this update, and that was such a huge letdown. Simon, the associate game director of Assassin's Creed Shadows, literally said in a roadmap that the Isu door might finally answer a bunch of questions the community has been asking, so naturally I expected at least some kind of explanation for the real yokai in the game, or maybe the first real First Civilization reveal in this game. Instead, that Isu Cave barely had anything worth showing. Now, hype keeps people interested, sure. It gets players coming back and buys Ubisoft more time. The issue is the content did not match the promise. What we got instead of an actual Isu reveal was pretty weak. A random Kassandra nod in the form of a statue and a few Isu weapons. Now, first of all, who the hell made that statue and why would it be in feudal Japan? Who in that era would even think to sculpt Kassandra? Second, what does this cave have to do with the Isu if the big highlight is just a Kassandra statue? This comes off like pure fan service, and it makes Ubisoft Quebec look lost. This reminds me of Watch Dogs Legion when they threw in Evie and Jacob and Edward statues in London. That was also fan service, but the difference is that Assassin's Creed actually needs proper explanations. And here's the part that not many people realize. This goes against Kassandra's own lore. The whole point of her journey for those thousands of years was hunting down and getting rid of Isu artifacts. She was out there destroying pieces of Eden so they would not end up in the hands of the enemies. She says it a few times. Listen.
Promise me one thing.
Anything.
When you are done, destroy it. Destroy them all.
I take it you've been hunting these artifacts for a long time now.
Yes, quite some time.
What led you to this?
Strangely enough, a vacation gone horribly wrong. Now it has become a destiny of sorts. I will take it far away from this island for safekeeping. To a place where no one can maliciously wield its power.
Power. So it's a weapon of some kind.
In the wrong hands, it is. The kind of weapon that should never be used.
So, great artifact hunter. Did you track it down as easily as you said you would?
Not quite.
So why does Kassandra in this cave give you these weapons? It says this on the notes. Does Ubisoft Quebec not know the lore of their own creation? That would go completely against who she is and what she stood for. That's basically dumping on her legacy just to give people collectibles after a long grind. Kassandra in the lore would have never wanted this. This cave doesn't clear up any long-standing story questions. And for somebody who cares about the narrative first and foremost, this feels like a bloody slap in the face. Now, to be honest, I would not even be shocked if Ubisoft Quebec is trying to push the Isu out of the franchise and replace everything with Kassandra. At this rate, they'll probably find a way to paint her as some new Isu figure or something just as silly. Now, by the way, I like Kassandra. She's a great character. I know it might sound like the opposite, but putting her in a random cave as a statue for cheap fan service does nothing for her. It actually hurts her potential. Assassin's Creed Valhalla handled her crossover very well with the Isle of Skye storyline. That felt like she showed up for an actual reason instead of being shoved in just to get a reaction from the fans. If Ubisoft Quebec wants to keep using her, that's the blueprint. Give her a purpose. Have her chasing an Isu artifact, uncovering something old, or following some sort of, I don't know, some thread that ties into the bigger lore. Something that fits her story instead of dropping a statue in a cave and calling it a day. That way she stays important, the lore stays intact, and it actually feels like Assassin's Creed instead of a random cameo. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video. Hopefully it's a positive one. Famous last words.